Hi everybody, hope all of you are well, and we will continue the chapter aldehyde and ketone and carboxylic acid. Last day we have discussed the condensation reaction, that is the aldol condensation and Cannizzaro reaction. And today I will discuss some chemical distinguish between formaldehyde and acetaldehyde. Okay. Suppose you have formaldehyde and acetaldehyde. Acetaldehyde, when treated with iodine, okay, in presence of alkali like sodium hydroxide, gives a yellow PPT of iodoform, so it will give the positive iodoform test. But formaldehyde, there is no ketomethyl group, it will not give you the positive iodoform test. That means no yellow PPT formation of CHIP, that is iodoform. If we think about the chemical distinguish between acetaldehyde and acetone, acetaldehyde will respond to the tolerance test because it has the CHO group. Okay. If we add tolerance reagent with acetaldehyde, there will be a silver mirror on the wall of the test tube. Okay. But acetone, there is no aldehyde group, ketone group is there, so it will not respond to the tolerance test. Next, if we discuss the chemical distinguish between the formaldehyde and benzaldehyde. Formaldehyde and aldehyde. So aliphatic aldehyde will respond to the Fehling test. So if we add Fehling's reagent to formaldehyde and apply heat in a hot water bath, we will get a red precipitation of CO2. That means cuprous oxide. Okay. But in case of benzaldehyde, it will not give the positive test. We know that aromatic aldehyde will not respond to the Fehling test. Next, if we think about the chemical distinguish between acetaldehyde and benzaldehyde. Acetaldehyde, when treated with iodine in presence of alkali, will give positive iodoform test because it has ketomethyl group. Okay. But in case of benzaldehyde, there will be no positive iodoform test because in case of benzaldehyde, there is no ketomethyl group. So in this way, when question will come to chemical distinguish between two organic compounds, this type of questions are very important. So you have to write their identification, that means by which you can identify which compound is present, and if possible also give the chemical reaction also. Now if we discuss the chemical distinguish between the benzophenone and acetophenone. Okay, in case of acetophenone, PHCOCH3, there is ketomethyl group. Definitely it will react with the iodine and NaOH and will give the iodoform test, positive iodoform test. But in case of benzophenone, PHCOPH, there is no ketomethyl group, so it will not respond to the iodoform test. Hope you can understand. Next we will discuss the discussion of an aromatic aldehyde, that is in your syllabus, that is benzaldehyde. So today we will start from that aromatic aldehyde, benzaldehyde. This one is benzaldehyde. Now first we will discuss the laboratory preparation. In the laboratory preparation, benzaldehyde can be obtained by the oxidation of toluene using chromium trioxide and acetic anhydride. Benzaldehyde immediately after its formation gets acidylated or acylated, okay, with the acetic anhydride to form the gem diacetate, which does not get further oxidized. And the function of acetic anhydride is to prevent the further oxidation of this aldehyde to corresponding benzoic acid. And the gem diacetate is isolated and is hydrolyzed with alkali to get the benzaldehyde. So now we are writing this reaction that we have to take benzaldehyde, we have to take the toluene. We want to prepare benzaldehyde. So first we have to take the toluene. This one is toluene. So here we have to use one oxidizing reagent, that is chromium trioxide, CrO3. This is oxidizing reagent. Okay. Here we have to use acetic anhydride, that is CH3 C double bond O CO CH3. So here we will get this compound CHO, okay, COCH3, diacetyl. We will get this compound, okay. So here we are using this acidic anhydride to prevent further oxidation. Next, if we add alkaline OH minus and water, that means alkaline hydrolysis, that is H2O and OH minus hydrolysis, there we will get the formation of benzaldehyde and 2 molecules of acetic acid. Okay, so in this way we can prepare the benzaldehyde. Another very interesting preparation is there, that is called Itard reaction. Itard in this reaction, when toluene is oxidized with chromium chloride CrO2Cl2 in presence of carbon tetrachloride, a brown color complex is formed, which on decomposition will give you the corresponding benzaldehyde. Understand? So here we will start from the toluene, and we have to give the Itard reagent, that is CrO2Cl2 twice CrO2 chromium chloride CrO2Cl2 in CCl4 in carbon tetrachloride solvent. Okay, then here we will get CHO CrCl2OH and another OCrCl2OH. Okay, this is the brown colored complex. Brown colored complex, and with this complex we have to use acid worker. That means we have to give H3O plus acid hydrolysis. Okay, that will give you the corresponding benzaldehyde. So this is another method by which we can prepare benzaldehyde. Next we will discuss directly from benzene. The name of the reaction is Gattermann-Koch reaction or Gattermann-Koch synthesis. Gattermann-Koch reaction or Gattermann-Koch synthesis. In this reaction, the main reagent is CO, that means carbon monoxide and HCl in presence of the anhydrous AlCl3. So here we will start from benzene and we will give carbon monoxide plus HCl. We are using AlCl3 anhydrous aluminum chloride plus Cu2Cl2. We will get the corresponding benzaldehyde. Very important reaction. Okay, plus there will be formation of HCl. Okay, now this is one very important method by which directly from benzene you can prepare aldehyde. Another very important reaction is there that is not in your syllabus, that is Vilsmeier-Hack reaction. Okay, in Vilsmeier-Hack reaction the reagent is DMF and POCl3. So from benzene, by using this reagent DMF and POCl3, Okay, you can prepare benzaldehyde. That we will not write here. Okay. Next, another important, that is by radical method, free radical method, toluene. We can give heat or we can give sunlight also, okay, or light also. That is chlorine and boil or HCl. There will be free radical reaction. There will be formation of benzyl chloride. This one is benzyl chloride. By hydrolysis of this benzyl chloride, that is twice H2O. Okay, will at temperature is required 273 Kelvin. We will get the corresponding benzaldehyde. Okay, with the formation of twice HCl. So in this way also we can prepare the benzaldehyde. Okay, the here toluene is oxidized to benzaldehyde by passing chlorine through boiling toluene. Otherwise we can use that, I have already told you, that chlorine light. Okay, and the product will be your benzaldehyde. Now, what are the physical properties of this benzaldehyde? Benzaldehyde is a colorless, oily liquid and its boiling point is 452 Kelvin. Here is a smell. In case of benzaldehyde, there is a smell of bitter almonds and therefore it is known as oil of bitter almond. It is only slightly soluble in water or sparingly soluble in water, but readily dissolves in organic solvents. Okay, and this benzaldehyde is steam volatile. Okay, you know what is steam volatile, and it is also poisonous in nature. Next, we will discuss the chemical properties of benzaldehyde. Chemical properties. First, oxidation. If you take benzaldehyde and if you give any type of oxidizing agent, you can use potassium dichromate acid, K2Cr2O7, H2SO4, or you can use KMnO4 alkali, or you can use dilute HNO3. Definitely there will be formation of benzoic acid. So aldehyde will be oxidized to the corresponding benzoic acid. Okay, and we know that this benzoic acid is not soluble in cold water, but it is soluble in hot water. Understand? So you will get a precipitate, white precipitate. Next we will discuss the reduction property. This benzaldehyde, as there is the CHO functional group, it will respond to the tolerance test. So if we take benzaldehyde and if you add the tolerance reagent, we have already discussed how tolerance reagent is prepared. This twice Ag plus thrice OH minus. This is the tolerance reagent. Then there will be formation of the silver deposition on the wall of the test tube. Okay, whatever container you are taking or doing this reaction, so there will be precipitate of silver and formation of silver mirror. So silver will be precipitated twice H, and the benzaldehyde will be converted to corresponding acid salt. That means C6H5 COO minus, and the corresponding, if you take sodium hydroxide, then there will be Na plus COO minus Na plus there will be formation of twice H2. Okay, so benzaldehyde will give you the positive toluene test. Okay. Next we will discuss the Clemmensen reduction. CLEMMEN. Okay, Clemmensen's reduction. In Cremenson reaction, the main reagent is zinc amalgam and concentrated HCl. Okay, so if you take the benzaldehyde, there will be reduction zinc amalgam and concentrated HCl, and there will be formation of toluene. The aldehyde group will reduce to toluene plus formation of H2. Understand? Next we will discuss the addition reaction of the aldehyde. So definitely like aldehyde there will be also the addition of HCl. So next we will discuss HCl addition. If you take benzaldehyde and add HCl, definitely there will be formation of ClHOH. Okay. Now if you add acid, then what will happen? That Cl will be converted to corresponding carboxylic acid. And what is the name of this compound? The name of the compound is mandelic acid. This is nothing but mandelic acid. After completing this part, that means aldehyde ketone, we will discuss the carboxylic acid. Next we will discuss that sodium bisulfite addition. Already we have discussed in aldehyde also. So benzaldehyde also will respond to this sodium bisulfite addition test. Okay. So if you take benzaldehyde and add sodium bisulfite, definitely there will be formation of CHOH SO3. This compound will be formed. Okay. Next we will discuss reactions involving replacement of carbonyl oxygen. If we take the benzaldehyde, if we add hydrogen, that means N2H4. That will react with this carbonyl oxygen, okay, and there will be elimination of water, and we will get benzaldehyde hydrazone. This one is double bond N NH2. This one is benzaldehyde hydrazone. Now we can react this benzaldehyde with phenyl hydrazine. CHO plus pH NH NH2. If we take this reagent, that is phenyl hydrazone, then definitely there will be formation of phenyl hydrazine. Then definitely there will be formation of benzaldehyde phenyl hydrazone. pH CH double bond N NHPH. Plus H2. Okay. So the name of this compound is benzaldehyde phenyl hydrazone. And if we react this benzaldehyde with hydroxylamine, definitely there will be formation of benzyl aldoxine. Okay. So this CHO will react with NH2OH. This is hydroxylamine. Okay. So that will form CH double bond N OH. And the name of this compound is benzyl aldoxine. Next, if we take benzaldehyde and add phosphorus pentachloride, that is PCl5, there will be formation of benzyl chloride. CH Cl2 plus POCl3, phosphorus oxychloride. Okay. So here we are getting the corresponding benzyl chloride. Hope you can understand this type of reaction. Okay. Next we will discuss the Cannizzaro reaction. You know that benzaldehyde having no alpha hydrogen, so definitely it will respond to the Cannizzaro reaction. If we add concentrated KOH, definitely there will be formation of corresponding acid salt plus benzyl alcohol PCH2H. Okay. Now if we take formaldehyde with this benzaldehyde, that will also respond to the Cannizzaro reaction. Here which one is more reactive? Formaldehyde is more reactive. That will be converted, or the OH minus will be attacked by formaldehyde first. So it will convert into corresponding acid salt. So here will be formation of potassium formate plus this will convert to corresponding benzyl alcohol. Okay, so these are the Cannizzaro reaction. Next very important reaction I will discuss, that is called benzoin condensation. Benzoin condensation. Now benzoin condensation is a reaction where we will get benzoin as a product. In presence of alcoholic potassium cyanide, two molecules of benzaldehyde condense to form benzoin. Okay, so here two molecules of benzaldehyde will react, and the main reagent is the potassium cyanide, that is alcoholic potassium cyanide. So this is very much dangerous. You know, potassium cyanide is very much poisonous. So to handling this type of reaction is very difficult. Okay, you have to be very much careful, otherwise there will be accident. And you have to take the alcohol water mixture. Okay, then this will convert to corresponding benzoin, means PH, CHOH, CO, PH. This is called benzoin. As here two molecules are condensing, that means forming one molecule, that is why it is condensation reaction, and the name of this reaction is benzoin condensation. This is very important reaction for your exam purpose. Next we will discuss Perkins reactions. Perkins reactions. Actually in this reaction, if you know mechanism, that will be very good, because we have very less time. Okay, we have to complete our syllabus. If we get time, we will discuss the mechanism. Actually in your syllabus there is only the reaction, those mechanism is there. Those mechanisms are given, I am discussing here. Okay, so in Perkins reaction, benzaldehyde will react with the acetic anhydride and the sodium salt of acetic acid, that will give you corresponding cinnamic acid at the temperature 453 Kelvin. So here benzaldehyde will react with acetic anhydride, that is Ac2O, in presence of the CH3COONA, that means sodium salt of acetic acid. The temperature required 453 Kelvin, that will give you the corresponding cinnamic acid, PACH double bond CH. And this reaction is called Perkins reaction, and the product is cinnamic acid. This is on alpha beta unsaturated acid, so this will respond to the unsaturation test. Okay, if you add alkaline KMnO4, okay, that will become colorless. Here benzene will not showing that the unsaturation test. On this double bond will show the unsaturation test. Okay, next we will discuss the ring substitution. That is the chlorination, sulfonation and nitration I will discuss. So you know the structure from benzaldehyde is meta-orienting. So if you take benzaldehyde and if you add mixed acid, that means concentrated nitric acid plus concentrated sulfuric acid mixture, then you will get the meta-nitrobenzaldehyde 1:1. If you add fuming sulfuric acid here, benzaldehyde, aldehyde group will deactivate the benzene ring, okay, because of resonance, okay. At ortho and para position, the electron density will decrease. So only the meta position there will be electron density. That is why the whatever product we are getting, that is the meta oriented product, okay. So here if you give H2SO4 and there will be elimination of water and you will get the SO3H, okay, that is meta sulfonic acid, okay. That is you can tell that this benzene sulfonic acid 1, 2, 3 formyl sulfonic acid, okay. Next, if we give CHO and if we add the chlorine and AbCl3, that means Cl2 and AbCl3, definitely there will be chlorination, and here also metachlorobenzaldehyde. Okay, so here also the product is meta-orienting product, that means metachlorobenzaldehyde. So in this way, this type of ring substitution reaction will respond by the benzaldehyde. Now distinction between the aromatic and aliphatic aldehyde we have already discussed. There is acetaldehyde and benzaldehyde. In case of acetaldehyde, okay, it will there is CH3CO, that is ketomethyl group. It will give the positive iodoform test and we will get the yellow PPT of CHI3. In case of benzaldehyde, there will be no positive iodoform test. It will not form the iodoform. But if you think about the Fehling solution, if you add Fehling solution to acetaldehyde, it will give positive response. That means there will be red PPT of CO2. But in case of benzaldehyde, there will be no such precipitation of CO2 because aromatic aldehyde do not respond to the Fehling test. So in this way, you can separate the aromatic and aliphatic aldehyde. Next, we will discuss the use of benzaldehyde. Actually, benzaldehyde can be used as flavoring agent in perfume industry. In synthesis of sheet base, benzoin and benzoyl condensation we have already discussed, and benzoyl chloride, benzaldehyde is used. In the manufacture of dyes like malachite green, benzaldehyde is used. And in preparation of the cinnamic acid and cinnamaldehyde, benzaldehyde is also used. So in this way, we have completed the aldehyde ketone part, okay. And next we will start the next functional group, that is the carboxylic acid. Carboxylic acid. So definitely carboxylic acid is an organic compound. Whenever you will attach this group, that means COOH, then it is called carboxylic acid. Okay. So organic compounds having COOH group, okay, in their structures are known as carboxylic acid. Now carboxylic acid may be classified into two categories. One is aliphatic carboxylic acid. Another is aromatic carboxylic acid. Now in case of aliphatic carboxylic acid, so carboxylic group will be attached to the aliphatic group, and in case of aromatic, definitely there will be one benzene ring, so COOH group will be attached to the benzene ring, okay. So here we can give some example like formic acid. This is the first member. Okay, you know that formica. Okay, formica means the Latin name, that is the ant. Okay, from ant sting we get that one type of acid that is called formic acid. This is a common name, formic acid. Next is CH3COOH. So this is acetic acid. You know acetam, that is vinegar. So from there it is coming. That is also vinegar acid. That is the acetic acid we are coming. So these are the common source we are giving their names. There is a formic acid acids. These are the common names. If you think about CH3, CH2, COOH, that is the propanoic acid. Okay. So all these are aliphatic. So it is attached to the aliphatic carbon. If we increase the chain here, So they are what type of acid? They are aliphatic acid. Actually, if we hydrolyze the fat, whatever acid we will get, so there will be long carbon chain. Okay, that is why they are called aliphatic carboxylic acid. Okay. Now aromatic carboxylic acid, when the COOH group is attached to the benzene ring, then it is called aromatic carboxylic acid. Suppose this one is the benzoic acid, and if you give a 2COOH, this one is called phthalic acid. Understand? So these are the aromatic carboxylic acid. Now depending upon the number of COOH, carboxylic acid may be classified as monocarboxylic acid, dicarboxylic acid or tricarboxylic acid. Okay. So when only one COOH group is present in the molecule, then it is called monocarboxylic acid. Monocarboxylic acid. Suppose this one HCOOH, this one is monocarboxylic acid. Okay. Whenever we are writing CH3COOH, this is the acetic acid. This is the monocarboxylic acid. Whenever we are writing this propanoic acid, this is also monocarboxylic acid. This one is the butyric acid. This is also monocarboxylic acid, as only one COOH group is present. Now in case of dicarboxylic acid, definitely there will be presence of two COOH group. First member we can think in case of aliphatic carboxylic acid, that is oxalic acid. If we increase one carbon atom, this acid name is called malonic acid. If we add one more carbon atom to this dicarboxylic acid, aliphatic dicarboxylic acid, then it is called succinic acid. If you add one more carbon atom to this dicarboxylic acid, this one is called glutaric acid. If we add one more carbon atom, these are the common names. IUPAC name I will discuss later. After this I will discuss IUPAC. So this one is adipic acid. If we add one more carbon here, then it is called pimelic acid. Pimelic acid. Okay, so here you find one very interesting name. You take this OMS GAP. So you can write Ohm's gap. So this is the best way to understand, to remember and to understand this type of dicarboxylic acid. So O is nothing but oxalic acid, M is malonic acid, S is succinic acid, G is glutaric acid, A is adipic acid, P is pimelic acid. All are aliphatic dicarboxylic acid. So in this way you can remember their name. Okay. Next we will discuss some aromatic dicarboxylic acid. So first we can take the example of benzene 1,2-dicarboxylic acid. This common name is phthalic acid. PHTHALIC, phthalic acid. So this is 1,2. If we take 1,3, that means it's isomer. Then it is called isothalic acid. Isothalic acid. If we take 1,4-dicarboxylic acid, this one is called terephthalic acid. So in this way we have to remember, if there is 3 carboxylic acid group in a molecule, then it is called tricarboxylic acid. So you can take one example, CH2, CH2, CH, CH2, CH2. So here one CHH, here one CHH, and here one CHH. So now this molecule contains 3 CHH group. That is why this is called tricarboxylic acid. Okay, this one is pentane 135 dicarboxylic acid. Next we will discuss the IUPAC nomenclature, that IUPAC nomenclature. In case of IUPAC nomenclature, the common name of the carboxylic acid is alkanoic acid. Okay. First, if we take the HCHH, this one is called methanoic acid. Methanoic acid. That means this oic acid we are adding, because here only one carbon is there, that is the methane. So we are replacing it and adding this oic acid. Okay. That is why it is called methanoic acid. So if we take CH3CHH, definitely it will be ethanoic acid. So the common name is alkanoic acid. If we take long chain, okay, suppose 8 carbon is there in aliphatic carboxyl, then it will be octanoic acid, nonanoic acid, decanoic acid. In this it will go. But in case of dicarboxylic acid, whenever we want to name this, then we have to take these 2 carbon, that is ethane dioic acid. This one is called ethane dioic acid. Okay. So if you take the CH2 whole 4, CHH, so how many carbon atom is present here? 6 carbon atom. So this is hexane dioic acid. Hexane dioic acid. So if you want to remember that Ohm's gap, so first one will be ethane dioic acid, then there will be propane dioic acid, then there will be butane dioic acid. In this way you have to remember. Okay. Now two very interesting compound I will discuss here, and their name also. This one, carbon-carbon double bond is present in both sides. There will be the CHH group. This is the cis compound. Common name of this acid is maleic acid. Maleic acid. Okay. So what is the IPC name of this compound? That will be cis. As the 2 CHH group is in the same side, that will be cis diut-2-ene dioic acid. Cis diut-2-ene dioic acid. If we take its trans isomer, what will be the common name? Common name will be fumaric acid. And here will be the name trans but-2-ene dioic acid. In the same way, just here we have to change this name cis, as there are 2 CHH group in the opposite side. Definitely it will be trans isomer. So you have to write trans but-2-ene dioic acid. Next we will discuss the isomers of this carboxylic acid. Actually, carboxylic acid can form 3 types of isomer: chain isomer, functional group isomer, and optical isomer. Suppose this one is butanoic acid. If there is one chain, so definitely this one is the chain isomer of butanoic acid. So they can exhibit chain isomerism. Chain isomerism. Next, we can discuss functional group isomer. Suppose if we think about this propanoic acid and with the same molecular formula, okay, we can draw the ester, that is the methyl acetate. Okay, these two compounds are functional group isomer. Functional group isomerism. So these two compounds will exhibit functional group isomerism. Their molecular formula is same and the structure is different. Here one functional group is the carboxylic acid, another functional group is the ester, and last one the optical isomers. If these two carboxylic acid group, there is 4 different groups, okay, to this carbon. One is COOH and 3 groups are different. Definitely there will be optical isomers. Suppose one is C2H5, CH3, another is C2H5, another is C3H7. C3H7. Definitely this one will be optically active, as there is presence of chiral center. Okay. So if you take the mirror image, definitely they will be the enantiomers. Okay. So they can show the optical isomerism also. Okay. So in this way we have completed the carboxylic acid nomenclature and their isomerism. Next day we will discuss their physical properties. Okay. So today up to this. Thank you.